Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to introduce our drivers and start our press conference. From Asbury, New Jersey, Rob Pajalis. From Hazleton, Pennsylvania, Ross the Boss Perchak. From Lidditz, Pennsylvania, fresh out feature winner last night at the Trailway Speedway, Mike Rutherford. From local Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, Sean Stoltz. From Jonestown, Pennsylvania, Brock Zierfall. From local Millville, Pennsylvania, Jake Starr. Give a hand for your local driver. And track owner and promoter of Greenwood Valley Action Track from Millville, Pennsylvania, Jerry Krevling. All right, gentlemen, the first question is posed to Sean Stoltz. Sean, a year ago you won the first race that I promoted. There was a lot of unique things about that race in the format. Where do you rank that win among a career filled with many wins? You're good.
All right. Yeah, definitely was one of the, I guess, best wins on record books for career highlights, I'd say. Definitely was a really good event that you put on for that, and look forward to the Dream at the Green, and hopefully we come out on top on that one.
Great. Next question, Mike Rutherford. Mike, last year at my race, you were 2 spots away from making history in our sport. Describe that night briefly from the moment you accepted the challenge so you took the checkered flag.
Well, you asked the question from the moment that we accepted the challenge, but I think the real story starts off before that. We were struggling a little bit that night, so you guys have put a great format together. Nunzi and Jerry Krevling both put a great format together with a challenge for electing to go to the rear. One of the big motivators was a guaranteed bonus that Jerry put up in cash, and then there was also the Hard Charger Award. We actually made the decision to go to the rear because we weren't running all that well that night. We figured we'd make a little more money coming from the back and getting the bonus and the Hard Charger Award. But about, I guess it was on lap 2 or so, we started 24th and we were up to 14 in 2 laps, and then the $10,000 seemed like it might be a little bit closer to reality. And I know Sean ended up winning the race, but we would have liked to have gotten a shot at him. Could have used a couple extra cautions, I think we really did too. But it was definitely a real fun, entertaining race, and the format's a little different this year, but we're real glad to be back and have a fun again.
Thank you, Mike. Mike, just looking back real quick from last year, do you think you would have had a shot? Would cautions have been the for you?
The question was if we had to do it again, would we have taken the challenge? Do you think we would have had a shot? I mean, we would have gotten to start in front of Sean. I hate to say I would have beat him, but I think we were probably good enough that we could have won from the front row. But hindsight's 20/20. You never know what's going to happen. We had a heck of a lot of fun coming to 24th.
Yeah, I've got a follow-up for you too, Mike. On the 600 side now for this year, you and Gary Hunter, of course, winning yesterday. You're back to your winning ways, but you and Gary teamed up a couple of years ago. Didn't have the success you were looking for. Split up. Then got back together again last summer with much better results. Why? What changed things around for you and Gary as a team?
Well, like you mentioned, we had gotten together at the end of 2009, and we ran the first 3 or 4 months of 2010. And, things don't always work out the way you want them to. The chemistry just wasn't there, so we went our separate ways. And I kind of stepped back from racing a little bit there in 2011. And an opportunity came along where he was looking for a driver for Speed Week, and we got together. And the results were rather positive, so we just kind of kept running together, and then we made the decision over the winter to go ahead and attack 2012 with a full schedule.
Was it a different car when you got back together with him, or just went into it with a different mindset, or what was the key?
For us, racing's always been pretty cyclic. You have your good years, your bad years, and maybe we were just on a down year and luck's going our way. Hopefully, luck's a big part of racing, and Sean's pretty lucky. I wouldn't mind stealing a little bit of his luck.
Next question to Jake Starr. Jake, Local from Millville, you've raced Greenwood Valley since 2011. Sorry, since 2001. Hard to believe, 10 years of racing. How will the Dream at the Green stack up against other races you participated in over 10 years at the Speedway?
Well, it's like one of the biggest, my favorite one and it'd be awesome to win it since I'm one of the local guys. Well, it'd be nice to win it since I was one of the local guys. And Blaze Alexander race last year, I had that. Talking wrapped up, we changed the car there between halfway, and Sean got me there at the end. So we came back out, won the big one out of that. But I'd really like to win that Dream Green race.
Next question, Mr. Rajal. Rob, congratulations on winning the 270 championship at Greenwood Valley Action Track. The Dream at the Green starts your reign at champion. Do you think you need to come out and make a statement in this race and defend your reign as champion?
Question being that the current champion coming into this race, do I feel the need to basically step up my game? I'm sitting next to three of probably the best 270 drivers on the East Coast. And every week I end up running with Ross and Shane there, but Sean, I'm sorry. But running against Mike here, that's always kind of a bit of a pleasure. You know, you end up learning something from this old veteran. But yeah, I feel like I do gotta step it up. Done the measures this year. Cut a little bit more weight off the race car because it's getting harder to cut it off me. So we're gonna give it our go. You know, we're gonna give it the best we got, and I'm hoping we're gonna get by these guys this year.
You will do very well, for sure. Next question, Ross Perchin. Ross, you have won Linda's National Open 4 times, tied for a record in our sport. If you were to win this race, the Dream at the Green, where would you rank it among your 4 Linda's National Open champions?
The question was about the Linda's National Open wins. Those are very prestigious wins, but the way that you're promoting this race would have to at least rank up there right with those 4 wins to win this race.
Hey, Ross, I'd like to add to that, and if any of you guys want to answer that as well, but looking at where this is at the beginning of the year and seeing how many cars that Linda's gets, where do you think this can go as far as that level is concerned? You've got the Nationals at the end of the year, very good purse there, but obviously this is showing to be much of the same. Where do you guys feel this can lead to?
I think that this race could be, it is like the Daytona of microsport racing because, that in NASCAR, the biggest race of the year is the first race of the year.
Just to add to that, one of the things that really makes this race stand out over Linda's National, don't get me wrong, Linda's is a great race, it's got a lot of history to it, but the format you put together for this race, with time trials and passing points, there's a good chance that the race may not be won from somebody who's starting out front. It should definitely provide a lot of action. There will be good racing from the first green flag to the last green flag.
Next question of Brock Zierfeld. Brock, you are pretty much the hottest driver in the 600 division. You've won the last 2 Linda's National Opens. You've just won 2 out of 3 races in Florida earlier this year. How do you feel your chances are taking home the $2,000 prize come April 1st at the Dream at the Green?
The question was, how do I feel like my chances are for winning the Dream at the Green? I feel like, every time we step out on the racetrack there, we go to win. And that was our mentality from the beginning of the year when I started running for them. And that's what we started out this year in Florida. And it's turning out to be pretty good there. I can't say enough for my guys and everything like that. And you, Nunzi and Jerry and Fremont there coming on this show. It's going to be an exciting race, that's for sure.
Brock, if I can follow up, you have a new car that you debuted in Florida. You got the 2 wins. That was a bigger track. That was down at East Bay on a bigger track. Now we're coming to Greenwood, one of the best small tracks in the area. Do you expect the new car to adapt to the smaller speedway as well, and run as well as you did down there?
Yeah, definitely. East Bay being a big track, the changes that we made to the car, it definitely responded to what we wanted it to do, even though the track was bigger. So I mean, we had 3 different track conditions down there, from tacky to slick to road up. The car just adjusted to the changes, exactly how we wanted to. And I think it's going to be the same way for Greenwood. I mean, the changes that we made to the car were for the small slick tracks, so I think it's going to turn out pretty well.
Nuns mentioned that Brock is probably one of the hottest drivers in the 600 ranks right now. Anybody up there disagree? Be honest. Now, you don't have to be arrogant, but be honest.
I mean, he's pretty good looking, but I wouldn't say he's the hottest. I mean, just looking.
Perhaps hottest was not the best term.
I might have got way better hair than he does.
I got a question for any of you guys there. With that, this being both 600 and 270, how many of you guys are doing double boot this year?
I'll be running in both divisions. I know Sean's going to be running in both divisions. I think that's going to be it for the guys that are here on this panel, but there may be 1 or 2 others.
Next question for Jerry Kremlin. Jerry, you and your wife are owners and promoters of Greenwood Valley for as long as I can know. 15, 20 years, not sure exactly. Since I worked with you the past 2 years, I see nothing but energy and the drive to provide the best possible racetrack for a driver. What fuels your drive to be a racetrack owner and promoter over the past 20 years?
Well, actually it probably started when I was a kid. I started racing anything that had a motor or wheels on it. And it just led from one thing to another. My wife raced, I raced, and we had a daughter. She started racing all the way up through, and I guess really what was the fad, we opened our track, and back then go-kart tracks were lasting 3, 4, 5 years, and we're thinking, okay, this will be 5, 6 years here. I tell you, it really grew at Greenwood Valley Action Track. We've come from, I think our first race we had 7 cars. Next week we had 6. And it took a long time, but we've been there over 30 years now, and I try to give, I look at the track as a racer side. I try to do the best I can do to have a track prepared for everyone.
Jerry, we're here at the Quaker Steak and Lube in Bloomsburg, great racing themed restaurant, and you're not far, you're probably one of the best kept secrets in the area. How far is Greenwood Valley from this location?
I think we're only like 8 miles. It's just right up Route 42 and then 3 miles outside of Millville. So you're 10, 15 minutes at the most from here. And I do want to thank Quaker Steak and Lube and the local hotels here that went with Nunzi here and helped promote this race, and I do really want to thank Nunzi as helping Greenwood Valley promote this race. It's been a very, like I said, last year was really a blessing to us. It brought a lot of outside drivers in, and I think watching last year's race, when you're a flagman and you stand on the flag stand, you really don't get to see anything, but I heard nothing but good from Mike Rutherford, what they've seen out of his driving style and the way he came up through, and it was an awesome race.
Jerry, looking back on your first race here, I believe it was 40 years ago at this point, 7 cars, and then to see what we had last year with over 100 cars in attendance, so I think there was over 50, close to 60 cars just in the challenge race. Did you ever dream of anything like that would happen at this place?
No, but that makes Dream of the Green stand out, doesn't it? It really was a dream come true. I mean, it's been a godsend to us. It really has been a blessing to our whole family, and we try to keep our track as a family sport. Families are allowed in there any age. There's no limitation on the pit area. We have kids 4 years old, 5 years old racing there all the way up to, I don't want to touch that topper line. So, but it has been a blessing, and did we think it would grow this far? No, we didn't, but it's here.
Another question as far as the event for when it comes up here. Last year, weather-wise, the track, you just did a fantastic job, in my opinion, of how that track was prepared. The dust was minimal, the passing, there was plenty of it going on. Now with the weather, unfortunately, playing tricks on us, it's way too